Chat, how we doing, bro? My Thunder, what's up, my boy? How you doing, man? Just waiting on Cameron. We're gonna get things started, bro. So we are at Saturday Night's Main Event, Season 2, Episode 3. That's May 3rd, 1986. That's the one we will be starting with today. Just waiting on Cam. But until then, we just give people some time to get in here. This, I believe, this is the same one that we had planned a couple weeks ago, and then my PC shit the bed. So this time around, we're all good. Can't get your bitch ass in here. Z, what's up, bro? Nah, you not late. Cam is. Nah, he's on the way. He's on the way. So I have it set. I literally have it set at all zeros. So if you get like to the exact beginning of the show, then we're in sync. The hell was on the show anyway?
Sorry I'm late.
Bro?
Sorry I'm late. I was doing sorry I'm late. I was doing work related stuff and got lost track of time.
Nah, you good. You good.
He's like, get your ass in there.
Nah, you good.
Yo, I rode a horse I found a horse yesterday.
I seen that, bro. Poor horse.
I went out drinking and I found a horse. I said, what the fuck this horse doing here?
You just found a random horse just chilling.
Yeah, I got on top of that motherfucker too.
For how long?
The owner won't even mad. The owner saw it was alive.
For real?
The owner saw it was alive. The owner was like, what the fuck?
That's lit.
All right, what episode are we on? I gotta pull it up.
We are on Season 2, Episode 3.
Ugh. Like the Season 2.
That's May 3rd, 1986. I'm at the very, very beginning. All zeros.
All right, I'm coming. Hold on.
You good.
Peacock. You know how Peacock is.
Right.
You said May 3rd, 1986.
Yep.
Okay. All right, I'm here.
All right. Ready to start? And people who come in, we can just update them as we go.
Yeah.
All right. Chat, if you're with us, we at the very, very beginning. We're going to hit play in 3, 2, and 1. Let's do it.
All right, I'm where the snake is. You see the snake?
Yep.
All right. This is 1986 WWF.
My mama was 2 years old, bro.
The snake gets too much disrespect. I'm tired of man is an all-time great. I'm tired of people acting like he's not. Jake Roberts is an all-time great. Oh God, Uncle Elmer.
James, what's up, bro? I assume you didn't watch any Larry Zbyszko matches, James, no?
Oh, the Bulldogs. If you guys did not know, fuck British Bulldog. No, not British Bulldog. Fuck Dynamite Kid. If y'all did not know,
Dynamite Kid.
Dynamite Kid is a piece of garbage.
Why?
I'll tell you, but hold on. Oh my God, is that Adrian? Is that Adrian Adonis?
I remember you telling me about him. Yeah.
Adrian Adonis is crazy. Adrian Adonis is. It's a shame what happened to him. It's a shame what happened to him. That man is legit. He was legit ahead of his time. He's legit. I think he was close to 300 pounds, something like that. He's legit one of the best big men you'll ever see. It's unfortunate what happened. It's unfortunate what happened to Adrian Adonis. But no, I'll tell you why Dynamite Kid is a piece of shit. Dynamite Kid is a piece of garbage. Here's why. Here's why. Here's why. Dynamite Kid, okay, you're going to see here, they call themselves the Bulldogs, or they call themselves the British Bulldogs. So they come up with a bulldog named Matilda. They used to do all kind of fucked up things to that dog. All kind of fucked up things to it. That's not the only thing. Dynamite Kid was known. Dynamite Kid, back in the UK, was known for Dynamite Kid in the UK. Not in the UK. Dynamite Kid in the States in particular would terrorize his wife. His wife would get it. He would just terrorize his wife for no reasons at all. There's stories, and Dynamite Kid has confirmed this. There's stories of him. There's stories of him, of his wife sleeping, and Dynamite Kid walking up to his wife with a shotgun and just going, one day, just one day, it's going to be loaded. He was a piece of garbage. He would hit his wife like that. He was a piece of garbage. And it got to a point where his wife couldn't take it anymore. So his wife gave Dynamite Kid an ultimatum. So his wife gave Dynamite Kid an ultimatum. He brought his wife brought him a plane ticket to the UK and said, look, either I'm going to go to the police about what you've been doing, or you can have a one-way ticket to the UK and you never come back. Dynamite Kid took the one-way ticket to the UK and never came back. He stayed in the UK until he died.
Wow.
Yeah. Dynamite Kid was a piece of garbage.
How long ago did he pass?
2017, I think.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Somewhere in that realm. Now, there's another story Dynamite Kid is confirmed where I guess his neighbor's daughter or something, either a neighbor or like a friend of his daughter got in like a car accident. They wanted money from the car accident, but she wasn't injured from the car accident, so she couldn't get any money. So he paid Dynamite Kid, and so he paid Dynamite Kid some money, and Dynamite took a hammer, and he broke the girl's legs.
What?
Yeah.
God damn.
Yeah. Dynamite Kid's a piece of garbage. Tara, fuck!
One thing, Mean Gene, is this man right here, the Haiti Kid. He's our answer to Jimmy Hart. All right, what about it, Haiti? I never wondered about a man who wears underwear.
Look at Tara Funk. It's a shame what happened to JYD too. Man, it's a shame. Man, it's a shame what happened to JYD.
What happened to him?
Huh?
What happened to him?
Died in a car accident.
Damn.
Shame what happened to JYD. JYD in his heyday was the man. This dude was the man. JYD when he was good because Vince got JYD from Mid South. Mid South got JYD from Mid South. For those of you that don't know Mid South is where Jim Ross got his big break. Mid South was ran by Bill Watts. And Mid South was ran by Bill Watts. And Bill Watts was character. Bill Watts was an old school classic. Bill Watts is an old school classic kind of booker. Bill Watts had a philosophy back then in order to maintain kayfabe that one, the heels had to dress in one locker room, the baby faces had to dress in another. I'm like, also, Bill Watts was the kind of guy to where if you were in a bar and somebody challenged you to a fight, you better win that fight, or else you're not gonna have a job. You better win that fight, or else you're not gonna have a job. That's the kind of guy Bill Watts was. But Junkyard Dog at his heyday is one of the. But Junkyard Dog at his heyday for Mid South was one of the biggest names in the entire wrestling industry. This man was huge. JYD was huge, and then he came to WWE. He was never that huge again, obviously.
Yeah.
Never that huge again, obviously, because Hogan was there. But Junkyard Dog was huge. Junkyard Dog was the man. But sad what happened, but it's sad what you hear about JYD because the man had a massive drug problem that he could not overcome. Unfortunately, this man Junkyard Dog heyday was making $100,000 a week, which back in the '80s is a whole lot of money.
I was gonna say, yeah. You said a week?
Yeah, he was making up to $100,000 a week, selling out Mid South and everything like that. This man was huge. He was making up to $100,000 a week selling out. He was making up to $100,000 a week as the top star in Mid South. Obviously, WWE paid him very well, so he was making bank back then. And by the time the '90s got here, he had to work. And by the time the '90s got here, he was working at Walmart because he was broke. It's sad. It's sad what happened. That man. Sad what happened. It's sad what drugs and weed be, man. That man was massive. That man was a massive drug addict. Like there's a story. You can find this on Dark Side of the Ring, but there's a story. You can find this on Dark Side of the Ring in an episode of because they did an episode of it. But there's a story where JYD in WWE, he gets off the plane to wherever they're going. And JYD is scheduled for. He's either scheduled for a match. He's either scheduled for a match or an appearance on Tuesday Night Titans. So JYD, he got off the airport. When he got off the airport, he got in whatever limo, and he got in whatever driver he's in. He got in whatever car he's in with the driver, and he asked the driver, "Hey man, you mind if I smoke?" And he asked the driver, "Hey man, you mind if I smoke?" And the driver's like, "No, I don't care. Go ahead." The he's thinking on like a cigarette or something. This nigga pulls out a crack pipe and starts smoking in the car. He'd have the drivers to wherever town they were in. He'd have them stop by the hood so he could get his fix, so he could get his drugs.
Damn.
JYD was a character. Terra Flunk! Look at Terra Flunk! They don't make him like Terra Funk anymore.
Who the hell is that?
Who?
The homie in the blue.
That's his brother, Dory Funk.
Oh shit.
This is brother Dory Funk Jr. As we see here. Terry Funk was the man. Terry Funk was the man.
Jimmy Hart is so good.
Jimmy Hart does not age.
Facts.
Jimmy Hart, this man does not age. This man looks like this man looks like what he did. This man in 2025 looks just like he did in 1985. It is incredible. And also a lot of the old theme songs you hear, that's because of Jimmy Hart.
I was gonna say, bro, I actually just learned about that recently. I heard he was heavily involved with Shawn Michaels' theme song.
Yeah. Look at Terry Funk, right? Yeah. Hulk Hogan. Oh. Oh, by the way, rest in peace to Rick Derringer. Rick Derringer, for those of you that don't know, was the man behind Hulk Hogan's Real American theme song, and was the man behind Demolition's theme song. If you never heard Demolition,
Yeah, hell yeah.
He was the man behind those things, and he passed. I think passed a couple weeks ago, so it's unfortunate.
Oh, it's recent. Damn.
Yeah.
Matt Thunder, what's up, Brody? Hell yeah, Rip Terry Funk, man.
What's up, Matt Thunder? Rest in peace, Terry Funk. You say one midget, you seen them all.
You're stupid.
That's what Bobby Heenan said.
Oh, Matt Thunder, Dory's still alive? That's good at least.
That one dude got that hard head.
I wonder what seeing a live show in the 80s was like.
I wonder too. Oh, did you know that the ring back then was like concrete? That ring was hard as hell.
Damn. I mean, I could imagine.
Bro,
We've definitely come a long way in terms of safety, but
that ring back then had no good.
you can kind of hear it too.
Bro, you know when the rings got softer? Take a guess. Take a guess when the rings got softer.
I don't want to say. I feel like it's is it what I'm thinking? Is it that tragedy?
No, before that.
So it's okay.
Before that, this is when you know who had to start working. This is when you know who started wrestling.
So that would have been.
I would have been like 98.
Damn. Okay.
This man had to take a bump. Was like, ow, that shit hurt. Wait a minute. He's like, ow, that shit hurt. Hold on. He's like, hold on. Let's soften this shit up a bit.
Fucking guy.
They are beating up a midget. Could you imagine if they did this today? Could you imagine?
Well, with Hulk Hogan being involved, I don't think there'd be too many people surprised.
Could you imagine the heat they would get if they did this today? They beat up a midget today. Who the fuck is Haiti Kid? You got that ring bell. The fuck? What this match is? Was this a DQ?
It might have been. I looked at Haiti Kid's cage match and it said one of his previous names were Little Mr. T.
Oh my god.
Little Mr. T. What the hell?
Hey, by the way, bars, I need y'all to do me a favor. I'm tired of going to places where the place is 21 and over, and I get to the bar and I still have to show ID. Nigga, I can't be in this establishment if I'm not 21. That shit pissed me off. King Kong Bundy!
Your favorite.
Coming just months after headline at WrestleMania 2. WrestleMania 2 is a terrible show, by the way, if y'all did not know. That show was terrible.
I believe it.
Ladies and gentlemen, today's weigh-in in preparation for tonight's Battle of the Big Boys here on Saturday night event when Uncle Albert beat Bundy.
Oh God, not Uncle Albert. Uncle Elmer is terrible.
All right, King Kong Bundy, if I could prevail upon you, sir, tipping the scales at officially 468 pounds. Big boy, King Kong. That's right, Uncle Elmo's in big trouble tonight.
Oh my God!
course, Bobby Heenan, you've elected to stay here and get the official read yourself.
Well, I just want to make sure my man gets a fair shake.
All right, Uncle Elmer, with Uncle Elmer's fried pig bar. I want
Mania 2 was the Mania where they had Mania in 3 separate cities.
Yeah.
Where the hell were they at?
Chicago, LA, and New York.
Damn.
Let's get the official tabulation here on it. Holy Toledo.
I feel like I remember them talking about that in the Vince documentary, but
Yeah.
You take 200 pounds of manure, 200 pounds of soil, 30 pounds of pig parts, and you get the biggest hillbilly limit in the world today.
Oh, God. Uncle Elmer. Oh, my God. This man was terrible. Okay, so some things on Uncle Elmer if you did not know. One, I think he was legitimately illiterate, so I legitimately don't think he could read. Two, he had his actual wedding to his actual my son.
yeah,
Two,
what's up, my boy?
here. Two, he had his actual wedding. Into WWE hosted his actual wedding to his actual wife. And three, he got fired. They got fired for trying to hold Vince up for money.
What?
Yeah, don't hold Vince McMahon up for money. He usually gonna end up getting fired. Oh God! Oh God!
Big boy, what's up, my bro? How you doing, dog?
Uncle Elmer is all. Oh God! Folks, if you want to join, we are at the 23-minute mark. It's Uncle Elmer and King Kong Bundy. I don't recommend watching, but there you go.
Man, what's up, bro?
Please tell me this match don't go on for long. God. Most underrated WWE title reign. I like Shawn Michaels in 1996. I love that title reign. So
The Miz in 2021.
you only held it for a week.
Still grabs.
Nah,
Nah. Just fucking with you.
I didn't hate that reign. Flashman said he was gonna destroy him and did. What the fuck? What the fuck?
Hey, yo.
End this! Yeah, Chris, you do need to watch Dark Side of the Ring. You got to get on that.
I do. I'm trying to think of the ones I've seen. I've seen the plane ride from hell.
Yeah, okay.
I seen the Benoit doc.
Okay.
I think that's it.
Thank God this right.
Thank God. I was gonna say shit.
All right. There's some you got to see that'll be interesting. You got to see the Dynamite Kid one. This Dynamite Kid is a piece of garbage.
Okay.
You can watch the Grizzly Smith one, although I would recommend you can watch the Grizzly Smith one, but that one is that. Talk about dark. That is dark. That is dark.
Really?
The Grizzly Smith one is dark. If you don't know, I'll give you a quick background on who Grizzly Smith is.
Yeah, please.
Grizzly Smith is the father of Jake the Snake Roberts.
Okay.
All you really need to know to get a sense of the kind of person Grizzly Smith was. Grizzly Smith got Jake's Grizzly Smith got Jake smothered pregnant when she was 13 years old. That's all you need to know on Grizzly Smith. Oh, Adrian Yabanis!
the straight nose, the eyebrows, the legs, powerful. You talk about so blue. You talk about the master of disaster. And I'm going to celebrate this event by putting a crack inside of his head like the Liberty Bell. That gown is a nice touch, eh? Oh, isn't it? Isn't it? Isn't it? You talk about vicious. I can be vicious. Remember me. The vicious as Vegemanic. Slice and dice. Mr. I don't think we have time for anymore. Let's get back to you, Vince, please.
Was this gimmick over?
Huh?
Was that gimmick by Adrian Adonis over?
I think so, but I think so. It's sad what happened to him. It's sad what happened to Adrian Adonis, man. Adrian Adonis was like that. Adrian Adonis was like, I gotta check. Let me do a quick thing here. Adrian Adonis was a big boy. He was a big boy. Adrian Adonis was, yeah. Okay, Adrian Adonis was close to 300 pounds, and that man could move. That man, for a man that's about 300 something pounds, that man could move. Oh man, that man could move. He was so good, but sad what happened to him. This is 1986. 2 years later, he's gone. It's unfortunate.
Damn.
It's unfortunate. He died in a. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. He was driving. It's unfortunate. Think the story. His death. He was driving somewhere. Like he was driving on the highway with Okay, he was driving. He was with some other wrestlers, and he was with some other wrestlers, and he was driving somewhere, and their car, and they swerved their car to avoid hitting the moose.
Mm.
Car swerves and the car falls off a cliff, and I think everybody in there passes away. So unfortunate. But Adrian Adonis was like that.
Wow. God damn.
Okay, there was only one survivor. But Adrian Adonis was the man. Don't let the gimmick fool y'all. Adrian Adonis.
No.
Adrian Adonis could move. For a 300-pound man, that man could move. Look at Paul Orndorff.
Brawl for All episode was dark, but not in the dark, you would think, if that's fair to say.
The Brawl for All episode was.
I've only heard about that, and from what you told me, I've never seen anything about it.
You ever wonder why Jim Cornette hates Vince Russo so much? The Brawl for All is specifically why. Yeah, the Brawl for All is the Brawl for All is a good episode. But the Grizzly Smith episode, that's one you can watch it if you want to, but be aware that episode might be the darkest episode they've ever done. That episode,
Really?
the Grizzly Smith episode might be the darkest episode they've ever done. Like if you ever wonder why Jake Roberts was such a wreck, why he had a lot of the problems that he had, you can find him on that episode. He did not have a good childhood, and he did not have a good childhood, and the fucking people he was. And the people he was around, like his upbringing, wasn't good. Grizzly Smith is a piece of shit. He's burning in hell. Oh God. Look at Adrian Adonis. Paul Orndorff. Okay, this match is probably not the best representation for Adrian Adonis could do, but Adrian Adonis is like that. Do not be fooled. Adrian Adonis is like that. Do not be fooled. Adorable Adrian Adonis, as they called him, was like that. That man could go. Do not be fooled. I think that Adrian Adonis had a Dark Side of the Ring episode too. Yeah.
For real?
Yep. Adrian Adonis had a Dark Side of the Ring episode. Came out 2 years ago. So yeah.
I gotta start watching them.
Bro, it's good if you. It's good if, in particular, if you know some of the stories behind them, or like even if you don't, or like you're just interested. But be aware, it is called Dark Side of the Ring, so it does take a turn. So
Right, of course.
it does take a dark turn. So it's a lot of a lot about these people's like addictions and stuff, and like sometimes they overcome, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they're there, and like there's a lot of sometimes the figures they talk about are there, sometimes they're not, and it's a lot of like historical. It's a lot of like historical like wrestling journalists on top of like on top of like their friends and stuff there, like people who actually knew them. So like you're gonna see Meltzer a lot there. I know people don't like Meltzer, but Meltzer is a wrestling historian, so you kind of need him there for stuff like this. Same thing with Jim Cornette. I know people don't like Jim Cornette, but Jim Cornette is a wrestling historian, so Meltzer. So you're gonna see a lot of Meltzer. You're gonna see a lot of Cornette. You're gonna see a lot of Meltzer. You're gonna see a lot of Cornette and just people who were around them for that. Oh, bro, you gotta watch the Collision in Korea episode. That's a good one.
Collision in Korea?
Yeah, you haven't heard about Collision in Korea?
No.
All right, I'll tell you. So Antonio Inoki. I'll tell you. So you know who Antonio Inoki is, right?
Yeah. Tony Khan, is that the man that he made fucking Wrestle Dream out of for?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Antonio Inoki was the head booker. He was the founder of New Japan, and he was the head booker in New Japan in the 90s, right? In the 70s, 80s, and 90s. Antonio Inoki was running for president. He was running. I think this was his second term. He was running for a position of office in Japan. So Antonio Inoki had the bright idea to get WCW involved, and they would run and to get WCW involved, and they would host a wrestling show in North Korea. They would host a wrestling show in North Korea. They got Muhammad Ali there, and they had a whole bunch, and it was a New Japan WCW crossover show held in North Korea. So they got a bunch of New Japan talents there. They got a bunch of WCW talents there. Ric Flair was on that show. Ric Flair was on that show. Two Cold Scorpios on that show. Bischoff was there. Bischoff was there. The planned main event was they wanted to do Inoki and Hogan. They asked Hogan to go. Hogan was like, I imagine Hogan was like, fuck you, I ain't going there. Hogan was like, fuck you, I ain't going there. So they got Flair to go. So Ric Flair went. And the entire fucking event is fucking, oh my, like the entire, like the lead up to shit with the event, it's so fucking weird and so fucking hysterical. It's so fucking weird and so fucking hysterical what happened there. Like Ric Flair got there, and like Ric Flair, like Ric Flair's there, and like Flair is not Flair. In fucking North Korea, Ric Flair actually as like a normal person there. So like they all get off like the plane. Like the first thing they have to do, they have to go to like a fucking statue. Like they get there, they take all their passports. Like they get there, they take all their passports, everything from America that they brought from them, they take except for their clothes. So they had to go fucking to the fucking statue of Kim Jong, one of the Kim Jong leaders, and they got to fucking, and they had to fucking worship the statue and all that shit, which they do. And then there's a fucking, oh my god, there's a fucking story in there. A fucking Chris Benoit was on that show, by the way. He was on that tour. There's a fucking story there. There's a fucking story there of fucking Scott Norton. Scott Norton on the show. Scott Norton is on the show. And Scott Norton is talking to his wife, and his wife thinks that, you know, she's cheating on him or something like that. And his wife thinks that, you know, he's cheating on her or something like that. And Scott Norton goes, I'm not cheating on you. You don't understand. This country is a fucking hellhole. As soon as he said that, the fucking phone disconnected. The fucking North Korean soldiers took Scott Norton to a fucking isolated place. Scott Norton believes if Antonio Inoki was not on this show, he would have been dead. we would not be hearing Scott Norton anymore. But Antonio Inoki was able to smooth things over. But anyway, they have the fucking wrestling show there. And at first, Ric Flair and Scott Norton are in awe. They're like, wow. They're like, wow, all these people are coming to see us. And that's what the fucking driver told them. No, they're coming to the show because if they don't, they get a bullet in the head. Like, they're being forced to attend the show.
Oh, my God.
So it's the largest attended wrestling show of all time because they're forced to be there. And if you watch the show, you can find it on YouTube. These people don't react to shit. That crowd, they don't react to a goddamn thing. Well, anyway, it was Ric Flair and Antonio Inoki in the main event. So there you go.
What year was that?
This is 95, I think. This is 95.
Okay.
So afterwards, they got, it was either 94 or 95. But afterwards, everybody involved with that show got the hell out of there. They got the hell out of there. They said once Ric Flair touched the ground that in a place that wasn't North Korea, Ric Flair was kissing the ground and shit. Ric Flair was so happy to be out of there. Ric Flair was so happy to be out of there. Yeah, that Collision in Korea show was fucking.
Oh, my goodness.
That's a show. That's the story right there. That show is fucking crazy. So Collision in Korea is a good one. Oh, bro, you'll love the one they do on UWF and Herb Abrams. That nigga was crazy.
Which one was that?
Huh?
What is it called?
It's called UWF and Herb Abrams. Herb Abrams was crazy.
Oh, okay.
The character, bro. You know how we joke on Tony Khan and call him Cocaine Khan?
Yeah.
You want the actual nigga on cocaine? That's Herb Abrams. That nigga was crazy. Bro, that nigga was crazy. Oh, my God. We get another DQ finish on this show? What the fuck? But Herb Abrams is fucking crazy. Bro, Herb Abrams owned a wrestling promotion in the late 80s, early 90s called the UWF, Universal Wrestling Federation. Herb Abrams was crazy. Herb Abrams was talking shit like he was gonna make. Herb Abrams was crazy. Herb Abrams was talking like he was gonna make. He said he was gonna make Brody. He said he was gonna make Bruiser Brody the top star of his promotion. Bruiser Brody had been dead for years. He also said that Black Jack Mulligan was gonna be a top star in his promotion. Black Jack Mulligan was in jail while the UWF was running, so he couldn't do any of that shit. Bro, this promotion was fucking insane, bro. This promotion was crazy as hell.
This place is going to be packed to the rafters, and that is called Hulkamania. Fans are going to be here. You can feel the electricity when it comes to town, much as it did in Phoenix, Arizona, the last time we saw you on Saturday night's main event. As a matter of fact, folks, I want to remind you and the millions of fans around the country just exactly what transpired on Saturday night's main event last time in Phoenix. Let's go to the tape.
Let's see what happened last time in Phoenix.
This is the ambush by Bundy, Morocco, Keenan. It took place here on Saturday night's main event.
Did they not do Mania already? What the fuck?
Suffering the greatest indignity of his wrestling career, taken to the hospital, where it was pronounced that he sustained cracked ribs and internal injuries.
They actually said a hospital. What happened to the local medical facility?
I was gonna say.
We really don't even know what we have. We're so close to it. It took something like this on the last Saturday night's main event to put my feet back on the ground, to make me realize that Hulkamania needs to be fought for every day. Training, saying your prayers, and eating your vitamins. Something I'm still.
But did that nigga Herb Abrams was crazy, boy. That nigga Herb Abrams was a character. That nigga was crazy. Chris, bro, I gotta tell you how we died, bro. How we died is one of the funniest stories you'll hear. It's unfortunate, but it's fucking hilarious. Hold on, I'll tell you after this whole promo.
All right.
Sensational WrestleMania 2 and a classic confrontation in a steel cage with King Kong Bundy. Let's take a look at this exclusive footage. Yes, indeed. The ultimate.
Okay. We don't care about WrestleMania 2. We know who won. We know Hogan. We know Hogan put belt to ass, and then we know Hogan put belt to ass and then beat the shit out of Bobby Heenan afterwards. We don't need to see this. All right, bro. So this is how this nigga Herb Abrams died. Check it out. So Herb Abrams had a drug problem. There are two things Herb Abrams loved in this world: cocaine and hookers. That's very important. It's very important. So police respond. I forget what year it is, but police respond to a man in an office going crazy. Herb Abrams is there. Herb Abrams is destroying his office with a baseball bat because he's on a coke-filled rage. This man is going crazy. Police arrest Herb Abrams. He's butt-ass naked. Police arrest. Hold on, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I got to make sure. Hold on, wait a minute. Because this story is fucking crazy. He basically died in the back of a police car, butt-ass naked, hopped up on cocaine.
What?
That nigga was crazy, bro. That nigga Herb Abrams was crazy. All right, here we go. So before his death, police have found Abrams in his old Manhattan office, butt naked and covered in baby oil, destroying furniture with a baseball bat. Abrams' autopsy showed he had cocaine and Valium in his system when he died. So basically, police came to get him. He was butt-ass naked, covered in baby oil, destroying his office on a coke-filled rampage. That nigga was crazy, bro. Oh, bro, there's a story. Bro, there's a story they tell in that episode of Herb Abrams. He's in a fucking hotel room with a hooker, and he paid the hooker off with a check. And the hooker's he tries to pay the hooker with a check. The hooker's like, "Nigga, you ain't paying me with a check. You paying me with cash. Where the fuck my cash at?" So Herb Abrams doesn't have cash. So the hooker has some fucking goons come in because they want their money. This nigga jumped out. I think it was a second story window. This nigga jumped out a second story window, butt ass naked, was walking down the street, butt ass naked. I can escape these niggas. This nigga was crazy.
Hey, yo.
This nigga was fucking insane, bro. Herb Abrams is a fucking character.
Michael Davis, what's up, bro?
Okay, 3-2 for more of Saturday night.
The World Tag Team title match is next. Okay.
Hi, we're going Saturday night. The match we have anticipated coming up now. Ricky the Dragon Steamboat squaring off against the.
Did you see the one they did on Owen Hart?
No.
You got to see the one they did on Owen Hart. It's very understandable why his wife hates WWE and wants nothing to do with it.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Well, that you could have very easily passed on. You know, very true, Mean Gene. But let it be known in tonight's match, it will be the Snake.
Did Vince get heat at the time for keeping the show going?
I think so.
By this man laying that snake across the body, adding insult to injury. I won't tolerate that, Jake Robert. That's just the way I am, Gene. All right, I'm going to show you a little bit of what you're going to be up against tonight. Take a look.
Oh my! Oh, look at that! Oh, this. Where's the referee?
Damien.
Scared to touch that thing.
Okay, Ricky Steamboat. In light of what we've just seen, how are you going to deal with a 12-foot python? You know, something everybody's seen it time and time again on nationwide TV. This is a true test for sure. But Roberts, it might backfire on you. You might be the one humiliated tonight. You might be the one laid out with your own snake across your body. All right, Ricky Steamboat, best of luck to you. Vince McMahon, let's go back to you. How do you mean, Gene Okerlund?
Shake the snake him.
It has come for you and I to show the whole world just what we can do as a team. You have taught me and I've taught you. Some of the greatest secrets in the world are contained within a snake. They've been around since the beginning of time, haven't they? Tonight you got to promise me that you will squeeze all the juices out of that little Hawaiian and show the whole world just how you can squeeze and squeeze and squeeze. Won't you? Jake the Snake Roberts.
For those of you that don't know, Jake the Snake Roberts is one of the all-time great characters in the history of professional wrestling. I don't care what anybody says. One of the all-time greats. One of the all-time great promos. One of the all-time great characters. Man, that was great psychology. Jake Roberts was great at everything. Great at every fucking thing. Jake Roberts was the man. Jake Roberts was the fucking man, for those of you that did not know.
I wouldn't worry about I worry about that pineapple farmer there.
And he was sadistic. This nigga was a sadistic son of a... Yeah, Jake Roberts was like that. Don't let nobody ever tell you Jake Roberts was not like that.
I seen some shit back in the day. Randy Savage got bit by Damien. Was that like, did he get actually fucked up?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, the story. It was Jake and Savage. They were in the storyline. This was in '92. This was sometime. This was either late '91 or early '92. But Jake and Savage were in the storyline at the time. Jake was heel. Savage was babyface.
Yeah.
Story, right? The plan for that spot was the Cobra would bite Savage, but I don't think it would be anything serious. But the Cobra bit Savage, and Savage legit got fucked up from it.
Damn.
I think Savage was in the hospital because of it.
Oh yeah, he is. Oh yeah, I think David's coming up from there.
You couldn't pay me.
Damn it!
I love it. Oh God, I can't believe it.
Oh yeah, Chris, you got to hear the Nick Gage. You got to watch the Nick Gage Dark Side of the Ring. That's a good one. Moxley's on that. That's a good one.
He robs a bank without a mask, and Mox laughs his ass off because Nick always comes to the ring like he's robbing a bank. Oh shit!
That shit was funny. It was funny. Shit was funny. He was like, Chris. I think it was sometime around Christmas. He needed money, but he didn't have any. So he went to the bank. He robbed it. So he went to the bank. He robbed the bank. Him and his girlfriend went to Jersey afterwards. Gambled all the money away. Nick Gage got arrested, and he did 5 years. Nick Gage got arrested. He did 5 years in prison for bank robbery. I don't think he hurt the teller or anything like that. I don't think he actually hurt or anything like that. But I robbed the bank for like 5 years, and Moxley finds out this dude wasn't wearing the mask and was just laughing his ass off. Moxley was like, he robs a bank and he doesn't wear a fucking mask. Moxley was laughing his ass off. Yeah, you cannot pay me enough money to. Hell no! Yeah, you cannot pay me enough money to go into that snake.
Nope. He almost killed David Arquette in the match. Who did?
Nick Gage.
Nick Gage?
Yeah. David, this was in 20. That is true. That Dark Side of the Ring episode is what got Nick Gage an AEW appearance. That's what got him that one and only AEW match. That
Jericho match with the fucking pizza cutter?
Yeah, that's what got it for him. But no, they did. Oh my God, the Iron Sheik! And classy Freddie Blassie.
All right, thank you, Vince McMahon, ladies and gentlemen. And I say this with the greatest Anglo-American pride. New tag team champions of the world, the British Bulldogs, Davey Boy Smith, the Dynamite Kid, and their manager, Captain Lou. You've done it again, another world championship. Well, thank you very much.
Albano.
But you don't have to praise me so much. That's not important. What's important is that these are the finest gymnastic wrestlers of the modern day era.
Finest gymnastic wrestlers.
That's high praise from the future World Wrestling Federation Hall of Famer, Captain Lou Albano, Davey.
Well, me and Gene, I don't like to disagree, but the captain brought us to this point.
All right, Dynamite, both as wrestlers and Bulldogs. Okay, right now, take a look at the night the title changed hands in Chicago as part of WrestleMania 2.
Fuck the Dynamite Kid. Dynamite Kid is one of the best wrestlers of all. In ring, he's one of the best wrestlers of all time. But fuck Dynamite Kid. Oh, for those of you that don't know, Dynamite Kid is why Chris Benoit got into the business. Dynamite Kid, Chris Benoit's inspiration was Dynamite Kid.
How about the fucking irony on that, huh?
Yeah.
They both turned out to be scumbags.
Yeah, Dynamite Kid was a real piece of shit. God. Yeah, you got to check out the Nick Gage episode of Dark Side of the Ring. That's a good one. fucking the one they did on this guy. Oh, the Fabulous Moolah episode. That's a good one. Moolah's a piece of shit for all the reasons you think. Have you heard the horror stories on Moolah and why she's a piece of shit?
No, all I remember was I think correct me if I'm wrong. I think they named the like the women's version of the Andre after her.
Yep.
And then they had to change it after some bullshit, but I never knew why.
Yeah, because Moolah was a piece of garbage. She was a piece of shit. Hold on a minute. Wait a minute. Singing the Russian national anthem. Look at Nikolai Volkov.
Snickers started to take away the sponsorships.
Yeah. It's the main reason
Oh, wow.
Number one! Iran number one! USA! Hot! Oh!
You stupid, yo.
Iran number Russia number one! Iran number one! USA! Hot! Oh! Iron Sheik!
Have an opportunity to regain the prestige.
Vince used to love his anti-American heels, huh?
Yes, he did, boy.
And when they do, you'll be cheering all the way from Tehran to Tripoli and Morocco to Moscow. All right, Nikolai Volkov from Russia is going to be proud of me. All right, from the Middle East, of course, the Iron Sheik.
Salaam alaikum. Allahu Akbar. All the Middle East people, they're going to proud to the Iron Sheik and Nicola Volkov.
Iron Sheik is I love Iron Sheik. God, I love Iron Sheik. Bro, it's funny, I say. But it's funny that Iron Sheik would say fuck Hulk Hogan on Twitter. You heard the story of Sheik and Hogan from 1984. This is when Hogan first won the title, I think in '85. This is when he
yeah.
won the title. Sheik got offered a lot of money by different promoters to go in there and break Hogan's legs, and Sheik was like, "No, I'm not doing that." And I think that's why Sheik was able to keep a job for as long as he was able to keep it, because he told Vince he was like, "Hey Vince," he was like, because he told Vince that promoters offered him a lot of money to break the legs of Hogan. Didn't do it. I think that's why Sheik was able to keep a job for so long. I mean, he would have kept the job. For so long had he not. Iron Sheik probably would have been a WWE lifer. The one thing though that I think cost him his job was this was an incident in the late '80s. So keep in mind, kayfabe had not been broken yet. So
Right.
thought heels and faces hated each other. Iron Sheik is riding with Hacksaw Jim Duggan. They get pulled over. They get pulled over and there's cocaine in the car and they get arrested. And they got to find out why. And WWE had to put out a whole press release on why Sheik and Duggan were teaming together. Oh, why Sheik and Duggan were riding in the car together, even though they hated each other. That shit was crazy.
Wow.
That shit was crazy. I forgot. I told you. Why did I tell you I was going to tell you? But I forgot.
That was quick.
They won the tag titles.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, yeah, that's right, Matt. Then I said I was going to talk about Moolah. All right, Chris. So this is why Moolah is such a piece of shit. Fabulous Moolah. Hold on a second. Do we? Oh, it's 2 out of 3 falls. What the fuck?
Okay.
Away quick. All right, but now here's why. Here's why Moolah's a piece of shit. Fabulous Moolah's a piece of garbage because she would train. A lot of the female wrestlers back then, she would train. You know, like she would train, like she would have them go through their training school, and she would take She would take a whole lot of the women's pay, like a whole lot of the pay the women were supposed to get. She would take a whole bunch of it. She would pimp out the women to various different promoters. And she would pimp out the women to various different promoters. And she would pimp out the women to various different promoters. Even told the women, if you want to get, even told the women, look, you want to get booked on the show, right? Then you might want to, you might need to, pleasure, you might need to fuck this dude, basically. So like she would pimp out the female wrestlers to the promoters. There's a story that what's it called? Back in 86, 87, I think it is. Back when WWE had women's tag team titles, right? WWE had women's tag team titles. The tag team champions are in Japan, right? The tag team champions are in Japan, and the tag team champions dropped the tag team titles to a team they're not supposed to drop the belts to. They did that because Moolah told them, hey, Vince wants you to drop the belts here. They tried getting in contact with Vince to see if it was true, but they couldn't get in contact with Vince. So they're like, well, okay, Moolah's saying that that's what Vince wants us to do, then that's what we'll do. They dropped the titles to him. They dropped the titles to him, and they got fired because of it. Because Moolah told them, hey, I want you to drop the titles. The fucking Spider Lady incident with fucking Wendy Richter. That's another reason why she's a piece of garbage. Where Wendy Richter basically, she was like the top female star back there for WWE. Wendy Richter had a contract coming up that she did not had a contract coming up. Wendy Richter wanted to re-sign the contract, but she was a thing of, let me get my lawyers to look over the contract. Vince McMahon was like, fuck this. Vince McMahon was like, fuck this. Vince McMahon was like, fuck this. And so Vince, it was the first screw job. So Vince had Moolah come in under a mask. Moolah got Richter down, and the referee just kind of 1-2-3. The referee just kind of 1-2-3. Even though Wendy Richter kicked out, the ref just kind of 1-2-3. And it was the first ever screw job, and Wendy Richter left the building and was never seen from again in WWE. If that was Moolah was a piece of shit. Moolah was a piece of garbage. So yeah, that's why it was a big outroar from Moolah. At the fact they had the battle royal. That's why a lot of people wanted to change it. She was a piece of shit. Which is atomic drop. We don't see no more. I wish they'd bring back the atomic drop, but we don't see the atomic drop no more. I wish they'd bring it back. Whatever happened to a good old fashioned atomic drop? What happened to a good old fashioned atomic drop? We don't see it. We don't see the atomic drop anymore. I wish they'd bring it back. I wish they'd bring back a good old fashioned atomic drop, boy. Oh yeah, but you gotta watch the Dark Side of the Ring on Gino Hernandez. That's a good one.
Gino Hernandez?
That's a good one.
Is all this shit on YouTube?
You can find it. Should be on. You have Hulu?
Yeah.
You find it on Hulu. You should be able to.
All right.
Oh, the Jimmy Snuka one is also good. The Jimmy Snuka one might piss you off, but the Jimmy Snuka one is good.
There's a lot of shit I don't know. I know the overall about that, but I don't know like the ins and outs.
What about him murdering his girlfriend?
Yeah.
Yeah, he murdered his girlfriend and Superman covered it up. Vince was able to, he murdered his girlfriend and Superman covered it up. He didn't. It's not like official, but if you read between the lines,
right,
he covered it up. Basically, Snuka was in a lot of shit for murdering his girlfriend, and Vince McMahon, he was in a lot of shit. Police had it as a homicide investigation, and the number one suspect was Jimmy Snuka. Vince McMahon, back when Vince McMahon was taking over WWE, when he was getting other promotions out of business or whatever, Vince McMahon would go to the TV studios that would air. So let's say Vince McMahon wanted AEW, for example, right?
Yeah.
I'm just using this as an example. Mr. McMahon would go to the television station, and Mr. McMahon would go to the television. Mr. McMahon would go to the television station that AEW was airing on, for example, and he would hand them a briefcase full of money. He'd give them a briefcase full of money, and he basically tell them, you see all this money right here? You can have it. I just need you to do two things. One, don't air AEW programming. Two, you're going to replace AEW programming with WWE programming. All the AEW shows, you're going to replace it with WWE programming. You're going to replace it. And the companies and the TV companies would do it because a lot of these promotions, a lot of the territories, they weren't paying the television people anything to air their shows. They weren't paying the television people anything. So the television people want money. They're like, yeah, sure, we'll do that. So like that's what Mr. McMahon would do. Mr. McMahon would take a whole book. Mr. McMahon would take like a briefcase full of money. He would go to different television stations and he basically tell them, hey, you're not airing that no more. You're airing WWE. And when the promotions would run dry, Mr. McMahon would choose mine. But like, all right, I own this now. And he'd take all the time. That's how Vince McMahon was able to turn WWE. That's how Vince McMahon was basically able to take over. It's a ruthless business strategy, but it worked. That's how he was able to take over.
Yeah.
So he did that with the police station. He went to I think it was Philadelphia. He was being investigated. I think it was Philly. He was being investigated in. He went to Philly. He went to the Philly Police Department. Had a briefcase full of money. Gave it to him, and a few days later, the case was ruled as an accidental. The case was ruled. A few days later, the case was closed, and it was an accidental death. Only until recently, police covered it back up, and it's like, yeah, Jimmy Snuka probably did kill his girlfriend, but this man was able to get it covered up. Now, it's not official, but you use context clues, you can put two and two together.
God damn.
This McMahon probably covered that shit up.
Did they ever have one about the steroid trial?
Yeah.
For real?
Funny. Yeah, the steroid trial is funny. Yeah, they had one on the steroid trial. The steroid trial is funny. Have you ever wondered why the Samoans have had a cushy spot in that company for as long as they did? It was fucking funny, bro. Alpha and Seeker were there, right? And Alpha and Seeker were there, and the fucking jury is like, it's time for the jury to deliberate. Alpha and Seeker look at the jury and they just mouth, not guilty. And they just mouth, not guilty. And they get fucking held and get took to court. That shit is funny as hell. Like, if you ever wonder why the Samoans have had a cushy spot in that company for so long, that's why. That's why. But yeah, the steroid trial was fucking good. Steroid trial was that shit was botched in so many different. Yay, the Bulldogs retained!
That was a hell of a pop.
Yeah. The steroid trial was botched in so many ways. That shit was botched in so many fucking ways. But no, the steroid trial was a good one. The steroid trial is good. They do one on that. Fucking
Did they do one on Eddie?
Yeah. They did. The Eddie Benoit episode, I think, was the same episode. They focused on.
Oh, okay, got you.
The Brian Pillman one is a good one. You come out with a lot of respect for. You come out with a lot of respect for Alexis King and wanting to see him make it, like you see, like and wanting to see him make it, like you see, like the. Like you see, like his fucking, like you see his story in that photo and like what he had to overcome. He's a guy you root for. He's a guy that you root for. You want to see him do good.
Yeah. I have a question though, because I remember seeing it a while ago, but I never like went out of my way to like do research on it. Why the hell did I see a segment between Stone Cold and Brian Pillman, and why did Brian Pillman have a blicky with him? And why did he fire it?
That was the It was they were doing the Austin Pillman feud. Now, I forgot why that was. Pillman had a gun and he fucking Austin came by, he fucking fired it. I forgot why that whole fucking thing was. Yeah, that was all storyline. That shit was funny as hell. Oh my god! We're speaking of Dark Side of the Ring episodes and shit's that are funny. You got to watch what on fucking you got to watch what on I forgot his I forgot his name. But you got it. Okay, that's the end of episode. Okay, that's the end of May 6th. That's the end of May 6th. So we go to November 29th. It's the Killer Bees against the Hart Foundation. And Hulk Hogan takes on Hercules Hernandez.
Is it that one or is it October 4th? Did you want to skip that one?
Oh, my bad. Oh, my bad. I was wrong. All right, folks, you're here on October 4th. Hogan and Orndorff. This should be good. Hogan and Orndorff should be good. Hogan and Orndorff and his Piper and Sheik. So this is when Piper was a babyface. But this should be good. Hogan and Orndorff, this should be good. Hogan and Orndorff, one of the best feuds in the 1980s. For those of you that don't know, legendary feud. I'm on it. I'm already on it. You want it?
Yeah. We got it.
Look at Jesse the Body Ventura. Why is he washing with the snake?
Austin crushed his leg with a chair for some reason.
Yeah, he Pillmanized him.
Brian Pillman was the babyface in that situation.
Yeah, he got Pillmanized.
Johnny V here telling you that my dream team of Greg the Hammer Valentine and Brutus Beefcake will regain their World Tag Team title tonight. The British Bulldogs are full of...
Oh, Greg Valentine and Brutus the Barber Beefcake. Oh, God. Kamala. Oh, my God, Kamala. The Ugandan giant. Oh, my God.
You are looking at three of the greatest physiques in professional wrestling today. And number one, the next heavyweight champion of the world.
And number two is the man of that Hulk Hogan. Hanging in the middle of the ring.
And number three, the only real American.
Hey, Hogan, you hurt me. Cry, baby. Tonight's the night that all you Hulkamaniacs have been waiting for. Tonight is the night that no good Benedict Arnold, Paul Orndorff is going down. You sold out, Mr. Wonderful. You sold out over jealousy. You had it all, man. You had those little Hulkamaniacs training with you, eating their vitamins with you, saying their prayers with you. Well, tonight it's all over, man. What you gonna do when Hulkamania runs wild on you?
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Okay, so those of you that don't know, the Paul Orndorff Hogan feud is legendary. So one of the best feuds in the 1980s. And if you're ever wondering why Paul Orndorff, for as big of a star as he was, why he wasn't on the WrestleMania 3 card, because it is weird that Paul Orndorff back then was a massive star. He was a massive star. But if you're ever wondering why Paul Orndorff was not on the WrestleMania 3 card, that's because he was standby. That's because Orndorff was standby. So if Andre could not do the match, like if he could not physically do the match, because Andre back then was in a lot of pain, like he had a very bad back. That's why that match at WrestleMania 3 was awful. Because when I tell you that man, Andre the Giant could not do he had to get surgery just to be able to do the match. That man's back was beyond fried.
Damn.
That's why they put him in a tag team, because he could not really do much. He could not.
Right.
But like, if you ever wonder why, Orndorff was the stand-in. In case something happened with Andre, to where Andre just went to Vince and was like, "I'm not doing it. My back hurts too fucking much." Orndorff was on standby. Orndorff was Plan B, because Vince knew that the fans would see Hogan and Orndorff as a credible main event, as a big-time main event anyway. So, thankfully, Andre was able to do the match. But
Matches we were looking forward tonight.
Was that a situation of just of Vince overworking Andre, or was that just Andre's size over time?
it's Andre's size over time. That's what it was. It was his size over time with him being that big. It was his size over time with him being that big.
Yeah.
And like, because Andre had the same disease that Big Show has, with like the acromegaly, the same disease that Omos has, the same disease that Lars Sullivan has.
Yeah.
That's like allow these people to be so fucking big. But people like Big Show and I think Omos, had surgeries to fucking stop the growth of it.
Right.
Back then, Andre could have gotten the same surgery, but Andre was worried of, if I get this surgery, I'm not going to be Andre the Giant anymore. He was very worried about that. That's why he never got the surgery. And his back was beyond fucked up because of it. Like, he could barely move a lot of stuff. Like, if you ever let him know, Piper.
God damn.
He is red hot, ladies and gentlemen. Vince, Jesse Ventura, I don't know what to make of it. I do. I'm sure you do, Mr. Piper. Back to you, Vince. All right, thank you, Jesse.
Man, Andre, that size was crazy. It was crazy. Like, oh yeah, like you heard the stories of like Andre the Giant drinking, right? Of him being like a massive drinker.
Yeah.
Part of the reason why he drank so much was to mask the fucking pain he was in, because that man was in pain all the time. That man was in pain all the time. He could barely move. That's why That's why Vince McMahon put him in a tag team. That's why Vince McMahon put him in a tag team, because Andre could not. He was limited. He could not do much because of his. Do not get this twisted. Andre the Giant. Oh no, wait a minute. I'll tell you after this whole promo.
I see a few confused people. Some of your people, man, the ones that aren't Hulkamaniacs. Those people, let me lay out straight for you, some straight talk. God created the heaven. He created the earth. He created all the Hulkamaniacs. Then he created a set of 24 iPhones, brother. And the reason for it is to straighten people up like you, Mr. Wonderful. People that don't have their priorities in order, who don't realize who the boss is, man. Well, for you, Mr. Wonderful, your time is here tonight, brother. And when I think about it, the old Mr. Wonderful's back, like you got a new paint job or something. Big deal. I'm the old, battered down, broken down Hulkster that just keeps running better than ever, man. Loyalty's what it's all about. Ultimate trust. The bond between me and my Hulkamaniacs. And old Mr. Wonderful, I'm gonna smoke right by you. But just remember one thing, dude. You're an old dog, man, that can't even wag his own tail. There's no way you're ever gonna beat me. It shall be written. The Hulkster said it shall be done. Your time is now, Mr. Wonderful.
Well, Jesse, I don't think I have ever seen a Hulkster more psyched up for a match. Well, I'll tell you, McMahon, he seems
All right, but
psyched up.
I forgot what I was saying. Fuck, what was I talking about again?
Oh, you're talking about Andre.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. Folks, do not get twisted. Do not get it fucked up. Andre the Giant at his heyday, that nigga could move. Do not get it twisted. Andre the Giant at his heyday, if you go back and watch his shit from the 70s and even the early 80s, that man could move. That man was a fucking dynamo, okay? That man was athletic as hell. A man that size should not be doing head scissors and drop kicks. That nigga could move. Do not ever get it twisted. Do not ever get that shit twisted. Andre the Giant, before his back went to complete shit, that nigga could move. That nigga could work. That nigga could move. That nigga could work, okay? Andre the Giant is one of the most agile big men you will ever see. Ever. Do not get it fucked up. Do not let his run in WWE fool you into thinking that's who Andre the Giant was. Do not let that run Andre had in WWE. Do not let that shit fool you into thinking that's who Andre the Giant was, so he's shitty. Don't do that. Do not let it fool you, because Andre the Giant at his peak, at his heyday, he was one of them niggas. He was one of them ones. I'm telling you right now. But yeah. Anyway.
That's going to make Orndorff that much more dangerous. Kane and Orndorff could very well steal the title, just like they're stealing Hulk Hogan's music as we listen right now. Stealing.
Andre the Giant on airplanes is fucking ridiculous. That nigga had to like pee in tubes because the airplane bathroom couldn't. That nigga had to like pee in tubes and shit.
Damn.
Like when he would go to Japan. Oh boy, that nigga Andre was.
That segment between Brian Pillman bringing a pew-pew to Stone Cold when he was breaking in his house that almost got WWE kicked off the USA Network. For real?
That is true. USA Network is not happy about that segment.
I believe it, bro, because that's the only time I've ever seen a pew pew on WWE programming.
That shit was crazy, bro.
Walking down the aisle now in this capacity crowd, and you can hear the tremendous ovation.
Look at how over this man was.
Yeah, Hulk Hogan, double music, double music. What are the people going to decide now?
Listen to how over this nigga was. My God. Look at this. Look at how insanely over Hogan was.
He looks like a boxcar walking down the aisle. That he's big, he's over 300 pounds, he's the champion of the world. But let me say this.
Crazy to think, almost 40 years later, how hated this man has become.
That nigga is hated. But I thought that is true. The fucking Hawk. Oh my God, the fucking Hawk angle. That is true, man. That is
The Hawk angle?
Huh?
The Hawk angle? You talking about Animal and Hawk?
Yeah. Hawk. Yeah, Hawk was a very. Yeah, Hawk had a lot of problems. They did a Dark Side of the Ring on Hawk too, but Hawk had a lot of problems. Hawk had a lot of fucking problems. One of them was that man loved to party. He was wild. That man loved to party. Hawk was wild. Hawk was going through alcohol problems at the time, so WWE turned into a storyline. And I remember they had a Hawk on the fucking Titantron threatening to kill himself and shit. You remember the episode of Raw where CM Punk is on the Titantron? Where they have CM Punk on the Titantron?
Which one?
It's like 2011. Punk is in the middle of his feud with Cena as in like the new Nexus. And like Punk is on top of the Titantron.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay.
That's what they did with Hulk. They had that nigga Hulk on top of the Titantron. Hulk is threatening to kill himself.
What? I thought you meant like he was actually like on the board, like he's like standing on top of the thing.
Yeah. He's standing on top of the Tron threatening to kill himself. That was all story. That storyline was so fucking stupid. God, the storyline was so fucking stupid. Listen to the heat. Listen to how over this man was at his peak. Matt Thunder, of course I know about Tim White. Of course I know about Tim White and the Suicide Tim White skits. Of course I know Matt Thunder.
Oh boy.
The fucking skits they did on WWE, the skits they did on WWE.com with Tim White trying to kill himself. Tim White trying to kill himself. They did one where he drank rat poison. They did one where he drank rat poison. They did one where he fucking hung himself. They did one where he paid somebody to run over him with a car. Yes, I remember the Tim White suicide skits.
What?
I wasn't old enough to watch them, but yes, I know the Tim White suicide skits right under. I remember that. They did one where he shot himself. He had a shotgun and he shot himself. I remember that one.
Why?
Oh, God. This McMahon has never seen it. This McMahon was crazy. Oh my God, bro! I remember they do a Dark Side of the Ring on the Ring Boys. Oh boy, that should have been dark. You know what?
Oh, is that the? Yeah, okay, I think I know a little bit about that.
Yeah, you don't want to know about the Ring Boys. Ugh.
Is that? Correct me if I'm wrong. Is that the shit with Pat Patterson?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so stay away from the Von Erich Dark Side of the Ring episode. Stay away from that one. That episode is. Why? Huh? Would I find anything else out from not if I already watched the movie? The movie they leave out some stuff, but okay. Nah. The movie leaves out some stuff, but no, that whole fucking family is a tragedy. Shout out to Kevin, man.
Shout out to Kevin Garnett.
Hell yeah.
Hey, 50, I don't think Vince Russo would ever see it heaven either. Vince Russo was, ugh. I'll tell you about Vince Russo, right? Vince Russo admitted. Vince Russo admitted he used to watch Jerry Springer and Maury Povich. That's how he used to write the shows back during the Attitude. That's how he used to get storyline ideas. He used to be in the back watching Maury Povich and Jerry Springer. He'd come up with storyline ideas from that.
I believe it. I really do.
Vince Russo admitted it. Russo was like, yeah.
Yeah.
That shit.
God damn. I'm glad I never got caught. I'm glad I never got caught in the Jim Cornette or Vince Russo fucking vortex, bro. I never got into them until I found out about the bad shit.
Brother,
I was like, good. I'm glad I didn't.
Brother feud is fuck. Oh my god. Brother feud is fuck. Oh my god.
They legitimately, like, I swear I've seen shit where like they like legit wish death on each other.
Jim Cornette legit hates Vince Russo. He legit hates Vince Russo. Jim Cornette said of the fucking Jim Cornette said because they did Dark Side of the Ring and the Montreal Screwjob. It was either the Montreal Screwjob or the fucking it was either Montreal Screwjob or it was the fucking Brawl for episode. But Jim Cornette said in that episode, he has instructions from his wife has instructions from him that if Vince Russo passes away before Jim Cornette, his wife has instructions from him, no matter how old he is, that he will no matter how old he is, that he will go to his grave and he will legit piss on him. Russo said Cornette said his wife has instructions for him to do that. If he passes away, if Russo passes away before Cornette, and Cornette is fucking old and can't depend on himself no more, he said his wife has instructions for him to do that. If not, he's out of the will. If not, she's out of the will.
K-Rod, what's up, bro? I always love streams like this, bro. I get to be a student for a little bit and just listen to some stories, watch some old shit.
Bro, this niggas are crazy, bro. Bro, the Jim Cornette Vince Russo hatred is fucking crazy. Oh my god, that shit is crazy. Vince Russo, Jim Cornette hates Vince Russo. Oh my god, he legitimately hate is a strong word. That nigga hates Vince Russo. Russo does not like Cornette. Oh my god, yeah. Any interview you see? Oh yeah, Chris, you know about that story?
I have heard bits and pieces about it, yeah.
Ah!
So who was like the leading candidate of that shit not happening? Stephanie, hopefully? Okay, good.
Stephanie said no.
Good.
No.
Good.
Miss kept pushing her the idea. Stephanie was like, no, I'm not doing that shit. Stephanie was like, no.
The fuck?
That shit was crazy, bro. Stephanie McMahon legit told that nigga no. Stephanie legit said, nigga, I'm not. Thank God she did. Stephanie went, no, I'm not doing it. The fuck? My God. How sick do you have to be to even come up with a storyline like that? Paul Herbert.
This was 2006?
This had to be us.
What?
Had to be when Stephanie was pregnant. So yeah, 06 I think is right. Thank God Stephanie said no. Cause what the fuck?
Bro.
Oh, that is true. The miss goes, but what about Shay? This miss goes,
You're lying.
She
You're
said
lying.
she said no to Vince. So Vince was like, well, how about Shay? And Stephanie was like, no. Stephanie was like, fuck no. Thank God Stephanie said no. What the fuck?
Yeah, he's not seeing heaven.
Kara, I get what you mean. Boy, that's what man was for. I remember that. Who the fuck is that?
Adrian Adonis.
Oh, that's Adrian Adonis.
Look at Piper, man.
Oh, you know this man had a brother?
No, I didn't.
He has an actual brother, and his brother never. He has an actual brother, and his brother never. He has an actual brother, and his brother was scheduled. He has an actual brother, and the only time his brother was ever going to make an appearance was in 2007 when Vince McMahon killed himself in that limo. But then the Benoit shit happened, so he had to stop that.
Oh,
The only
okay.
time his brother was actually going to make an appearance.
Damn.
Yeah, Roger McMahon.
Roderick McMahon. All right. Hey, did he ever get heat for saying Edward on TV?
I don't think he did.
Are you serious? Nothing. Like no, you didn't get in trouble by the network. Nothing.
No, I don't think he did.
That's crazy.
I don't think he didn't say it on network. He said it on pay per view.
Oh, okay.
I don't think they would have gave a shit. Ring of the Dragon! Oh, Chris, you gotta watch the one on Bruiser Brody. The one on Bruiser Brody is good. You know who Bruiser Brody is, right?
Yeah. I heard about how his life ended. I was fucked.
Because this is my time. You wanted to talk to me. I didn't ask to talk to you. Damien didn't either. deny fear than it is to run from danger. You're stepping where no man has stepped before. All right, in front of 70,000 strong of our Canadian cousins recently, however, it was
Holy shit, where was that show at?
Toronto.
away. I don't ever recall that happening.
I don't know what venue. I just know it was in Toronto.
Please. I'm a little back for the shower. You're a sick man, Robert. Oh, that's true. I am. But you know that. Does this make tonight the rubber match? Well, if you believe Ricky Steamboat can beat me, Mean Gene, then you ought to go back to selling encyclopedias, my man. I never sold an encyclopedia, Jake Roberts. You couldn't even do that either, huh? All right, Jake the Snake Roberts and Davian. From here, that's the story. Back to you.
Oh, Chris. All right, so you gotta watch. These are the ones I recommend watching. The first one where they talk about Savage and Elizabeth. If you don't know that relationship with Savage and Elizabeth, Randy Savage was a madman. Savage was overprotective of Elizabeth. It got to a point where Savage would be at the shows. If Savage, hold on a second. Is that an alligator? Okay. All right. All right. But Savage and Elizabeth, that relationship was very. Savage was a maniac. Savage was very overprotective of Elizabeth. He was very overprotective. Savage was very insecure. So it got to the point where Savage and Liz, they would come to the shows, and Savage would lock Miss Elizabeth in like the dressing room. He would lock her in like his dressing room, and like he would not let her out until like it would be time for like them to come out. Savage was very overprotective. Savage was very overprotective. Savage was he was very possessive. He was very obsessive. He was a maniac.
Yeah.
Elizabeth. So that's one I recommend checking out. David Schultz, that one I recommend checking out. If you haven't heard that story of David Schultz and John Stossel, basically it goes like this. John Stossel used to work for Dateline, and John Stossel was a reporter for Dateline in the 80s. So this was 85, 86, something like that. John Stossel asked David Schultz, is wrestling fake? He asked him, is wrestling fake? David Schultz slapped the shit out of John Stossel. He slapped the fuck out of him. Because he was offended by the question. He slapped the fuck out of John Stossel. And John Stossel basically threatened to sue WWE, and it got into this whole thing of if WWE is real or not. But that's the good one. You got to see the Herb Abrams one. The Herb Abrams one is crazy. You can watch the New Jack one. The New Jack one is also good. If you know New Jack, the kind of character New Jack was, that one is very entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you got to watch one on this guy named. Bruiser. On this guy named Johnny Canine. Johnny Canine was a madman. Johnny Canine was in a bike. He was legit in a biker gang. And he did some really fucked up shit, which is fucking crazy. Which is crazy. He was like an actual biker in like a biker gang.
Yeah.
But like if he got like a call from somebody to go wrestle, he would stop whatever he was doing and go wrestle. And like they tell a story of and like Jericho tells a story. And like Jericho and Lance Storm tell a story of Johnny Canine, where Johnny Canine would show up to like various different places. Like for example, like Johnny Canine would show up at like a Walmart, for example. And Johnny Canine would just take some shoes and put them on. And Lance Storm would look at it. He'd be like, "Hey, bro, you know you got to pay for that, right?" Johnny Canine. He'd be like, "Don't worry, it's okay." He'd be like, "Don't worry, it's okay." Don't worry, it's okay. It's okay. And he just put the shoes on and just fucking walk out with them. He just fucking walk out with the shoes on without paying for them. And he'd be like, "It's okay. Bro, he did. Bro, Lance Storm told the story. Lance Storm told the story of them at like a Pizza Hut. And I guess back then it was either a Pizza Hut or a KFC. And I guess back then they used to have like salad bars in them. So the fucking normal thing would he's like, "Hey boy," the normal thing to do would be, pay for the food, then you go to the buffet. This dude would just go to the buffet. This dude would just grab a plate, go to the buffet, and just make his food. And when Lance Storm would be like, "Hey man, you know you got to pay for that, right?" He'd be like, "It's okay, it's okay." He'd be like, "It's okay." He'd be like, "It's okay, man. It's okay, it's okay. I got it. It's okay." And he'd just eat the food and walk out. That nigga was crazy. And nobody would do anything because he was so damn big and so damn intimidating.
Right. It's goddamn.
Nah, he was crazy. Nah, Johnny Canine was crazy. He was a legit. Johnny Canine was crazy. He was legit in a biker gang, and he would go. He was legit in a biker gang, so that was crazy. Rob Black XPW, you can watch that one. That's the one. That's the story I told you about. The dude who was fucking his wife, and he had fucking That story I told you about. The dude that was fucking his wife, and he had the fucking dudes go after him. That
Yeah.
Creepy as hell. Man, I wish we could do. I really want to do a watch along to like all the Dark Side of the Ring episodes. Because it's one thing. It's one thing. It's one thing. I'm telling you this, but like giving you the backstory on like some of this shit, I think could be really interesting. The Bam Bam Bigelow one is very good. The original Doink the Clown one is good. You don't know who Doink the Clown is? That's Matt Bourne. Matt Bourne was crazy. Matt Bourne was a madman. But that's a good one.
Okay, found it on Hulu. Perfect. Okay.
Yeah. That was a
So
good one.
yeah, 5 seasons of this shit. All right.
Yeah. That was a good one. And then the fucking all of them are good. All of them are very good. Like if you haven't seen them, all of them are very good. Just
Who the fuck is Chris Colt?
let me see. Hold on.
Season 5.
I've heard of him. Hold on. Oh, Chris Colt. Oh, Chris Colt was crazy. Chris Colt was crazy. Chris Colt was he was an indie wrestler. He was an indie wrestler back then, and that man was crazy. Man, that man was crazy.
V, what's up, brother?
Hey, Vicious V. Chris Colt was crazy, so that's one I recommend. But all of these are good. Just avoid the Grizzly Smith one if you, because that you can watch it. But when I tell you that shit is dark as hell, Dark Side of the Ring lived up to his name. Chris lived up to his name because that Grizzly Smith episode that is a tough one. Grizzly Smith is a piece of garbage. That is a tough one. That is a tough one to get through.
All right, I'm gonna see if I can get started on some of them after we get out of here.
All right.
Hey, Steamboat got Jake.
Look at Jake. All right, the Hell in the Cell one is probably the most. That's probably like the most. All the episodes are pretty much like effed up, like they're dark episodes for a reason. But the Hell in the Cell one and the Earthquake episode, those are ones like if you don't want to like game your day up too bad, you can check those out because those aren't really like you have the case of like somebody dying or whatever. It's just these people. It's just like they live their lives and like here's what happened to them. But that's the one. But Matt Thunder, Ricky, the person that got knocked out by Jake on the concrete.
Like legit knocked out.
I don't think it was legit concrete, but an alligator and a snake going to battle. That's not a dragon. That's an alligator. Oh, yeah, the hot cool was funny. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah, you got to watch the Shockmaster. The Shockmaster one is funny as hell. Hot Cool laughs his ass off during that. I think that's the Earthquake one. Hot Cool was laughing his ass off. Because Haku, I guess Haku had never seen the Shockmaster debut. So they showed Haku the Shockmaster debut, and Haku was in there laughing his ass off. Haku was in there crying, bro. That shit was hysterical, bro. Haku. God, I love Haku.
Who played as the Shockmaster?
Fred Ottman.
Okay.
Fred Ottman is you wrote in the Natural Disaster, right? Like you.
Yeah, hell yeah.
You wrote Typhoon.
Mhm.
It's Cody's uncle. It's uncle.
Oh shit! Yeah.
It's Cody's uncle.
Don't ever come in my courtroom. My combat zone in Hulkamania with tombstones in your eyes, looking for Adonis. Even though you wiped it out, man. He took his life face all over with you. I would never trust that guy.
Hulk, you must admit you came within an eyelash a couple of times tonight during the course of the match of being defeated. The heavyweight title of the world going down the tube.
Get off that mean cheat. I know what my priorities are. But right now, the way it goes, Bobby the Weasel Heenan, guilty by association.
This man Hogan was really WWE champion for 4 years. He had that title for 4 years. Oh man, I can't wait till we get to the Saturday Night's Main Event episode where Hogan loses the title. That is one of the funniest shits. That is one of the funniest things you will ever see. Man, I can't wait till we get to that episode. I think it's on Saturday Night's Main Event. But the episode where Hogan loses the title, oh man, that episode is fucking funny as hell. Hogan's backstage promo where he's whining about losing the title. How much for the when I looked at him, they were identical. How much for the plastic surgery, bro? Oh my bro, that Hogan promo was a masterclass. That episode was great. Oh my god, that episode was great. Andre winning the title and calling it the World Tag Team title. Oh my god. Bro, that episode is fucking comedy gold. Slick! Look at the Reverend Slick.
Well, Jesse, so I want the Sheik to be happy because, a happy wrestler is a champion wrestler. And after all, this man is the next heavyweight champion of the world.
Now tell me something, Slick. You're geared for the match with Roddy Piper. What is going to happen now with a substitution? Is that going to throw things off for you?
Yes, sir, my man. I always knew that Roddy Piper was a yellow coward. But brother, versatility, that's the name of the game. And everybody knows that if you want a future in the World Wrestling Federation, you got to go with the flow. And I can tell you right now that this man's future is as big as this bad limo. Now, can you dig on that, Daddy?
I can dig on that.
Can you dig on that, Daddy?
Your Shiki always was ready. And the still arm ready. Cameraman, zoom. The Sheik looks ready. Slick's ready. Let's see if they can make you happy.
Why did they have Slick with Iron Sheik? I need to know.
I feel bad. It's the first time I've seen him.
You ever heard of the Reverend Slick?
Never, bro. It's my first time seeing him right here.
Oh my god, the Reverend Slick was a character.
Is this motherfucker coming back out? Piper's coming back out again?
Yeah. Supposed to be Sheik and Piper.
Oh, okay.
Bro, that nigga. Bro, if you look, if you go watch the vignettes of Slick when he debuted, well, Pedro Morales was still employed. Those of you that don't know who Pedro Morales is one of the longest reigning WWE champions of all time.
You used to hear Michael Cole talk about it every time Roman Reigns made a pay-per-view entrance.
Sure, you think you used to hear about that? But Chris, when Slick first debuted, they used to have vignettes of Slick. They used to have vignettes of Slick eating out of buckets of chicken. They had a reference. He used to have vignettes and a reference Slick. They used to do promo packages. A reference Slick would be in the back eating. They used to have Slick in the back eating a bucket of chicken. Eating a bucket of fried chicken. Oh man, why was the reference Slick with Iron Sheik? I want to know.
Damn, she got fucked up with that crutch.
Matt Thunder, don't you watch the Nickelodeon matches? Don't you watch the Nickelodeon matches, Matt Thunder? Don't you do it? K-Rob, I did hear about that. K-Rob, I did hear about that. I did hear about that. I did hear about how they won the Harlem Heat to debut. They won in the Harlem Heat. They won in the Harlem Heat in shackles led to the ring by a white man.
Oh,
Chris, speaking of New Jack. Bro, have you heard? Bro, speaking of New Jack. Bro, have you heard this New Jack promo? So this is in '95, I think. This is in the '90s. It's sometime in the '90s, like 94, 95, something like that. Jim Cornette, and Jim Cornette has New Jack in and Jim Cornette has New Jack in Mid-South. Because Jim Cornette used to have a promotion. Jim Cornette used to have a promotion called Smoky Mountain Wrestling. He used to run a promotion called Smoky Mountain Wrestling. So Jim Cornette had New Jack there. He said Jim Cornette had New Jack there. He had New Jack, D'Lo Brown, and I forgot who else, but he had him there. And New Jack was terrible, but he was a heat magnet. So Jim Cornette came up with an idea. We have this black guy, because they used to run the South. So Jim Cornette's like, we have this black guy in the South. We're going to make him heel. So Jim Cornette used to just let New Jack say whatever he wanted to say in promos or whatever. And Jim Cornette told New Jack, he was like, say something about the OJ trial or something. So there's a promo with New Jack going, OJ Simpson, keep up the good work. That's 2 less people. He said, that's 2 less we got to worry about. Bro, that shit was...
what?
Bro, that shit was funny as hell. Bro, that shit was comedy. That shit was comedy. I'm sorry, bro. That shit was comedy, bro. OJ Simpson, keep up the good work. That's 2 less we got to worry about.
Against the doctor's advice, can you go out on that ring and meet the Iron Sheik? I do exactly what I want to do. You say I'm insane? I say thank you very much. Adrian, darling, do you think I'm insane? Do you think for 1 second now you're running around with your dress on and your beautiful pectorals that look like you had 6 glitters above me? You're going to come run in the ring and you're going to come run around and mess me up and think for 1 second that I'm just going to sit there and take up and rock them out there and beat you in the
Yeah.
You think for 1 second you would also explain the glory with your pretty little hat on and all those lovely stretch marks. You look like an upstate map of New York that you're going to sit there and say, took care of Roddy Piper.
I can't believe this man was never WWE champion. Yeah, K-Rob Piper, man. At least I think so. I don't think he ever did. That man can talk though. That man can cut a promo.
Piper was crazy. I don't know. It is shame that Piper was never WWE champion. It is crazy.
Was he the one that you told me that he had a bottle over his head during a promo?
Who, Piper?
Yeah.
I think he did. I think Piper did smash a bottle over his head. versus Greg Valentine and what a my God. What a
Matt Thunder, what you got, bro? Let's hear it.
what a pairing this is. Matt Thunder and Matt. What a pairing. Brutus Beefcake and Greg the Hammer Valentine.
Since it's coming up next month, how about the first ever Evolution show? Hey, I'd be down for that.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
I'd be down for that. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I like the idea of doing the Evolution show, man.
Hell yeah, I'm down as fuck for that. Let me see what we got. That's just on the 12th of July.
The day after my birthday.
So we got 3 Saturdays in between that. So we could probably pick one in between.
I remember that Matt Thunder. They had to edit the WrestleMania 5 promo out. They had to edit the WrestleMania 5 promo out because Piper had blackface all over. Because Piper had black stuff all over his body. I remember that.
Oh man.
He was in a feud with Bad News Brown, so he was in a feud with Bad News Brown, so he had half his face, so he covered half his face, so he covered half his body black. I remember that.
That's it.
Oh, my bad, Carol. That was Mania 6. Bad News Brown was like that.
You just open your mouth and stuff your foot in. Here comes Dynamite.
Bad News Brown was a real nigga too. Bad News Brown was a real nigga too. Bad News Brown told Andre the Giant was trying to start some. They were talking about Andre the Giant was trying to start some shit. Bad News straight up told Andre, he was like, "All right now," he was like, "All right now, all right now, you got the wrong nigga today. You got the wrong nigga." And Andre, that's what Bad News.
Andre ribbed him with the paint. Yeah, that's fucked.
I remember that. I remember that. Piper had a solution. When Piper had something that he was supposed to use to take the paint off, to take the paint off. Andre poured it out. Andre, the best would have poured it out and poured some shit in it that couldn't get the paint off.
Yeah.
Piper took the shit off because Andre poured it out. Andre was like, because Andre poured it out.
Have you seen the James Storm Chris Van Vliet interview yet? No, I started. I've seen bits and pieces. I saw one part about why he never really got going in WWE. That's about it. Is it worth watching?
I say so. Long legs and rednecks are my friends.
I just finished up that Ariel Helwani interview with Karrion Kross. I started the one with Shotzi yesterday.
The Shotzi one's good. The Shotzi. Have you seen the one he did with Corey Jade?
Yes, I have. I guess you can say what you want about Ariel Helwani, man, but his interviews are good.
Yeah. I can't believe that wrestling fans are losers. I will say that because you have people. I will say the wrestling fans are losers because it's a known secret that. Hold on a second.
I understand you have some footage that may shed some further light to the nature of that intrigue. Go back to you. All right, back to you here now. Right around Piper. The question winds up and whoa! Look at that. Man, oh man, that's definitely a home run swing. But look for that hit, man. That hit from the elbow.
V, if you remember, if you've heard of Beer Money from TNA, he was a part of Beer Money with Robert Roode.
Beer money.
The last I remember of James Storm in TNA was he broke away with Beer Money. He was doing his own thing, and he had some guy with him from Japan. I can't think of his name, but
Oh, Sonata. I think that was
Sonata. That's right.
Fuck. I forgot this. Fuck, what was I saying? I was saying something about somebody, but I forgot. Fuck.
Well, what did T just say? He said 2005 Batista versus 2024 Gunther. Who wins? Chad, what do you think? 2005 Batista or 2024 Gunther, bro?
2024 Gunther.
James Storm pushed Mickey James into a moving train.
I was storyline. I remember that. I was storyline.
Okay.
That was 2015. It was a Nick. That's 2015. It was a Nick Aldis, Mickey James, and James Storm all in the storyline. And James Storm, the last appearance we saw Mickey James on TNA television until recently was James Storm pushing Mickey James in front of a train, killing him. That shit was crazy. He went.
Oh, so they used to like kill people off, like actually.
Yeah, TNA used to kill people off. TNA used to go to the Lucha Underground to kill people off.
Wow.
Matt Thunder Marks. Thunder, you got Marks thinking that this shit was real. Yeah, they used to call the police on wrestlers all the time. I remember Jerry Lawler had the police called on him. I remember Jerry Lawler had the police called on him. This was in Memphis. This was when Jerry Lawler was running Memphis. This had to be 90. This is either 1990 or 1991. Jerry Lawler is in an angle with Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert. And for the angle, Jerry Lawler, and for the angle is that Eddie Gilbert runs over Jerry Lawler. Right, that's the angle. They set up the angle and everything. Jerry Lawler legit got hit because he missed time. Jerry Lawler legit got ran over. It was an accident, obviously, but he legit got ran over because he missed. I think he mistimed the jump. I think he mistimed the jump and he legit got ran over. He fucked up his hip and everything.
Yeah.
And called the police on him. And they called the police on Eddie Gilbert. And Jerry Lawler had to go out there with a bad hip. His hip was in pain. Jerry Lawler had to go out there with a bad hip. He had to no sell. He had to show the cops. He had to show the police. I'm fine. He was like, I'm going to take Eddie Gilbert to jail. He was like, I'm fine.
Yeah. Damn. Let's see. Matt Thunder said that they killed Eric Young, Ali. You mean Ali the Bunny?
Yep.
And then a 10-year-old kid. A 10-year-old kid.
They did kill a 10-year-old kid. Huh? Brutus beat Greg the Hammer Valentine. I remember that, but I remember. I remember that, but I think Aaron Young stabbed. I think they stabbed. I remember that. I think Cody Deaner stabbed Aaron Young. That's how they killed him off. He got stabbed because Aaron Young was going to WWE for the Wyatt and Six stuff. He was going to be part of whatever thing Bray Wyatt was doing. But once the Vince McMahon allegations came out, Aaron Young was like, "I don't want to work for this dude anymore. I want out."
Okay.
So they let him out, and he had to show back up to TNA. Yeah, that was funny. That was funny. They killed the. That was what they killed the. That was what they killed Aaron Young. Yeah, TNA used to murder people. TNA used to murder people on that television show. Look at former Intercontinental Champion Greg the Hammer Valentine in that. Look at former Intercontinental Champion Greg Valentine in there working the leg. Look at that right there. Look at this right here. Oh, he's going for the figure 4.
They recorded an aftermath where he survived just in case he came back. Hey, that's good on them though for
That's smart right
being
there.
on top of that shit. Yeah, no, for real.
Yeah. I remember when they used to murder. Well, they should have Braun Breaker murder Ricochet. They should have murder Ricochet on television. Where we
But
they should have Braun Breaker murder Ricochet. Just get the fuck up out of here. Oh, Christopher, you know what we need to do a watch along too? You seen the movie No Holds Barred?
nah.
I want to do a watch along to that.
All right.
It's a terrible movie, but it's funny. It's a terrible movie, but it's so bad it's a good movie, but it's so bad that it's good kind of way. Man, I want to do a watch along to No Holds Barred.
I'm down. Hell yeah.
No Holds Barred. I'll let you guess who was in it. There's one guy in it, and then there's another guy from Friday who got a run out of it that you can guess for being in it.
All right. What year did this shit come out?
It was in 80s, either 87 or 88. I think it was 88.
Shit.
Yeah, this had to be 88. One of them was in the movie Friday. One of them is one of the most memorable characters in that movie.
Oh wait. No. I can't think of his name. It was the big black bald dude, right?
Yeah, Debo.
Debo. That's right.
Debo
I do remember. I do. Okay. I do remember him. Okay.
And who's the other? Who's the other guy? This is the WWE guy.
Is he black too?
No.
Is it Junkyard Dog?
No. He's not black.
Oh, so he's not black.
I don't think he likes black people, but he's not black.
Oh shit! What is it, Hogan?
Yeah. was Hogan.
Ew, bro, I didn't know Hogan made movies.
That's the first movie Hogan ever did. That's the first movie Hogan ever did. It was that's the first movie Hogan ever did. Hogan and Vince wrote the entire movie. Hogan and Vince wrote the entire movie. Hogan and Vince wrote the entire movie. I think it took them like 3 hours or something to write the movie, but Hogan and Vince wrote the entire movie. And they did, Hogan and Vince wrote Kamala. Hogan and Vince wrote the entire movie. It was called No Holds Barred. And Vince McMahon, in order to promote the movie, wanted to have Zeus come to life. So Zeus came to life. That's how we got Hogan. That's how we got Hogan and Beefcake against Savage and Zeus. This is SummerSlam main event. Vince wanted that movie to come to life. And Zeus at first had and Devo at first had no interest in doing it. Vince brought the idea, hey man, how would you feel about wrestling in order to promote the movie? And Debo, he was like, fuck that, I'm not doing that gay shit. He's like, fuck that, I'm not doing that gay shit. Until somebody told him how much money he could make from wrestling. And he was like, oh shit. He was like, why I sign up? He's like, why I sign up? I'll do it. But he was terrible. That was the Plant WrestleMania main event. Plant Mania's 6th main event was Hogan and Zeus. Thank God that did not happen.
Jeez. Damn, look at the scars on his head, bro.
Blayton will do that to you.
I was gonna say, bro, shit.
Dude, yeah, but look at them old. Look at old wrestlers. Look at old wrestlers on their forehead. You could tell they bladed a lot. Dusty, look at his forehead.
Oh man, Dusty was fucked up, man. Yeah.
Look at Ric Flair's forehead. You got Ric Flair. Look at Ric Flair's forehead. I mean, Ric Flair is probably not fair though. The wind blows or Ric Flair bleeds, but Ric Flair was blood. Kamala wrestled Bryan Danielson.
What? What?
Kamala wrestled Bryan Danielson at a Ring of Honor show.
Hold the fuck on.
I swear to God, I'm not making this. You can find it.
No, I believe you. Hold on. This is 2006?
Yep.
Hey, is that Prince Nana?
Yep. They did. Kamala wrestled Bryan Danielson at a show. Oh my God, I can't believe it. That was Lanny Poffo? Oh my God. That's Lanny Poffo. How did the Great Poffo family? Chris, if you can get some Lanny Poffo's brother is, you won't believe it.
Yeah, nah, hell no.
So you don't know who his brother is?
Nah, at all.
He was one of the top stars of the 80s. That's all I'm giving you.
In the 80s or the Indies?
Of the 80s. He's an iconic name. One of the most iconic names in wrestling history.
Savage?
Yeah, his brother was Randy Savage.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Ventura, have you ever seen a World Wrestling Federation title matchup on Bridge all the night? Well, I'll tell you what, nothing's settled in my mind, Vince McMahon. Hogan is still the champion of the world. The wonderful guy is, and I'm sure it's far from over. But notwithstanding that, what about the fact that we saw so many bizarre things? Heated ejected. Heated ejected? Why?
Home with the Poffo family. Angelo Poffo, Eddie Poffo, and I forgot Savage's name. I think it may have been Randy Poffo. But yeah, Randy Savage. That's part of the reason why Savage went to WCW. Is because WCW agreed to put his father in the Hall of Fame, which is something he really wanted. That's part of That's part of the reason why he agreed to go. That and Vince McMahon, Savage did not want to leave WWE. He wanted to stay very much in WWE. He just wanted to wrestle. And Vince thought he was too old to wrestle, so that's why Savage basically left. That's why Savage basically left. And if Bischoff is to be believed, Bischoff didn't have to pay Savage a dime because Savage had the Slim Jim sponsorship.
Yeah.
Savage with the Slim Jim partnership, I think was making like $700,000 a year off that alone. So Bischoff did not have to pay a whole lot of. That's part of the reason why Vince hates Savage so bad, because Savage was able to take the Slim Jim partnership with him.
Damn.
That and the Stephanie McMahon stuff, if that is real, but you don't know.
No Slim Jim tables needed as well. Goddamn right. Goddamn right. Chat, that was Saturday Night's Main Event, Season 2, Episodes 3 and 4, bro. Nice little blast from the past, bro. It's always nice coming on these retro watch-alongs, bro, and learning some new shit, bro. Hearing some Cam stories, some Cam fables, bro.
That shit was crazy. That shit was crazy. I still can't believe we had Kamal and Brian Danielson. My God.
Nah, that's insane. So all right, so next time we do this, we got November 29th, 1986. That's the Killer Bees versus the Heart Foundation in a tag team match. Hulk Hogan takes on Hercules Hernandez. And then the other one is January 3rd, 1987.
Yes! I cannot wait for this one. One of the all-time great. Yes, I cannot wait for this one. One of the all-time great cage matches. Really, relative to era. But one of the all-time great cage matches. Hogan and Mr. Orndorff. Hogan and Paul Orndorff in a steel cage. I cannot wait for that one. And then, oh, shit. November 28, 1987 looks like a great one. It's Hogan and, oh, my God. Yeah, 87 is where we get cooking. We got some good ones. We got some good shit here with 87. We got
All right.
We got March 4th, 1987. We got Steamboat. We got Savage and George the Animal Steel. I don't know that story. WrestleMania 3. That's a great one. We have Bulldog. We got the Bulldogs and the Heart Foundation. That is guaranteed to be awesome. Awesome. We got Savage and Honky Tonk Man for the IC title. So that's a great. Oh yeah. 87 and 88 we were cooking. Oh my. Yeah, 87 and 88 we are cooking. So we had to get through some of the ones that don't really do a whole lot to get to the ones that are good. This is classic WWE right here. So 87 and 88, that's when we get cooking. So yeah, I cannot wait to get into those. This is where we get.
Hell yeah, it's all part of the process, man. Yeah. I enjoyed today's episodes though. I enjoyed that shit.
I did too. Good episode. I did too. Good.
Hell yeah. I am gonna get started. I'm gonna try and get started on those Dark Side of the Ring episodes because there's a lot of shit that we talked about tonight that I want some like closure on.
If you want like more background on like some of the stories or like some of it happening, just pull. Solid wants to get reviews on every one of these episodes.
No shit.
He talks about stuff that the producers in there. He talks about stuff that the producers didn't really have time to get into from like the episode. So
yeah,
Solid. So after you watch him, Solid Monster, I think has every episode he's ever reviewed. He has every episode he's ever reviewed up on his YouTube channel. So check that out. If you want to see, so you can check that out if you want more extensive stuff on what the hell happened. He has reviews on those on his channel. But yeah, watch those Dark Side of the Ring because those episodes are crazy. But avoid the Grizzly Smith one because that one is.
All right. At some point, I am gonna have to come across it because I think I do want to binge these.
Fuck Grizzly Smoke.
Just, yeah. But that's all I got, man. You got anything else to add before we get out of here, my boy?
No, that's all I got.
Yeah, we appreciate you chilling with chilling with your homies on a Saturday night. That's all we got until Monday for Monday Night Raw. Hopefully they keep up the momentum there. We got some King of the Ring matches, some King of the Ring Fatal 4-Ways to finish up. That'll be Monday. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. Until Monday, please be safe. We love you. While you're at it, bring back bullying, man.
Bring back bullying. Bye, y'all.